Hi, this is RxHelp, advice from a person on the other side of the pharmacy counter, and today I'm going to be talking about Sudafed. I find it surprising still when I'm at work how a lot of people still don't know why Sudafed has to be kept behind the counter. But I guess if you don't buy Sudafed and you don't pay attention to news or anything like that, especially medical related news, then I guess you wouldn't know, so I guess it makes sense. So I'm going to discuss this to let anybody know that doesn't really understand why it's kept behind the pharmacy counter. So Sudafed basically, it comes in a red box a lot of the time. This is not the actual Sudafed brand, but it is, it does have the active ingredient that Sudafed has in it. So basically, pseudoephedrine, that right there, that's the main ingredient. That's the thing that keeps it behind the counter. Now, Sudafed can be mixed with other things, like it can be mixed with antihistamines such as Claritin, Benadryl, things like that. But if you're just going to get normal Sudafed, the regular normal Sudafed that everybody thinks of, they are tiny little red tablets, like that. And back in 2005, the federal government decided to start regulating it. It was found that pseudoephedrine, which is the active ingredient in Sudafed, can be used to make methamphetamine. And so in an effort to try to cut down on methamphetamine use, it was decided that pseudoephedrine would be regulated in stores that sell pseudoephedrine. And so it started out with basically just regulating how much was sold and how much could be sold in a month and how much could be sold in a day. And then by the time fall 2006 hit, it was decided that it would no longer be, stores would no longer be allowed to sell Sudafed anywhere else but behind the pharmacy counter, just because it's easier to regulate it that way, because they also decided that you had to keep a log with a person's name and address and how much Sudafed that they purchased, because you're only allowed to buy a total of 3.6 grams a day. And so by doing that, it allowed the government to track it better. And now a lot of places even have electronic logs, so they're able to track it better from store to store, not even just within the same store, because people were also going from store to store because they were paper logs a while ago, and they were easily able to purchase more than the amount that they were allowed to have to buy a day. So that's also why you have to give your driver's license. And it was decided that you would have to be 18 years or older, and you'd have to provide a valid driver's license, and you'd only be allowed to buy 3.6 grams a day. So when you go to the pharmacy counter and you go, I want Sudafed, please give me some Sudafed, the person at the counter will ask you for your license. And yes, this is mandatory. Yes, you have to give it in order to get Sudafed. If you don't want to give your license or another valid government-issued form of photo identification, you won't be able to purchase it. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. That's what the law says. And the person behind the counter has no say in changing that. So please try not to yell at them, because most of the time, people behind the pharmacy counter are very young. They're usually 16 or 17 in high school, and they don't really understand a lot of the time either. They understand that you use it to make meth, but that's about it, because that's all that they're trained to know. So please do not yell at them. It is not their fault. They are not the ones making the rules. The government is. They're just following the rules. So basically, you have to give your driver's license. And in a lot of places, you have to take it out of your little wallet or whatever you have it in, because I know at a lot of stores they either swipe it or they scan the back of it. So you have to take it out too. They can't just look at it and go, oh, okay, that is you and you are over 18. So you have to give them your driver's license, and you actually have to physically hand it to them. And so basically they take your license, and then you can pick your Sudafed product. I want 1 box of the 8-hour version. Okay? There's a lot of different versions of Sudafed. There's a 12-hour version. Like I said, it comes mixed with antihistamines. Sometimes it can come mixed with pain relievers like Advil and Motrin, Aleve, and so you can pick whatever kind you want. Most people just get the 8-hour version because it can be used, well, actually it's not 8 hours, I'm sorry. It can be used every 4 to 6 hours. So, but most people get that because then if it fails, you can take more. 12-hour, 24-hour, you're kind of, to put it bluntly, you're kind of screwed if you took your whole dose of Sudafed for the day. But basically, you give your license, pick your product, and then they'll ring it up, and you have to sign for it. And the signature is also not optional. You have to sign saying that you agree to not buy more than the mandated amount per day and per month, and you also sign saying that you promise that you won't make meth with it. And basically, if it is found that you did purchase it and then you went and illegally bought more or made methamphetamine, you will be fined and cited and brought forth under the penalty of the law, because you signed that you wouldn't make it and that you wouldn't buy it illegally. So that's basically what the procedure is. They are mandatory if you want to buy Sudafed. Now, if for some reason you do not want to buy you do not want to give your license, you do not want to sign, or you're under the age of 18, you can buy the Sudafed PE version, which contains a product called phenylephrine, which cannot be used to make meth. And it works in a similar fashion to Sudafed. It still does decongest you. Many people, including myself, swear that it does not work as well or the same as the actual pseudoephedrine. People do buy it. It is purchased, and people do feel that it works the same. A lot of people do not. Now, as far as getting Sudafed, the brand, versus getting the CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Target version of Sudafed, they're all the same. They all contain pseudoephedrine. They all do the same thing. Like I said, if it has this written on it, it's the same thing. So that's basically what goes on with Sudafed. I almost forgot. In case you have any more wishes to read about the methamphetamine law regarding Sudafed, you can either Google search the words Meth Act 2005, or you can click on the link that is in my information bar below, and that'll actually bring you to the Department of Justice site regarding the Combat Methamphetamine Act of 2005, and it'll basically take you through the progression of the law from the oldest copy of the law written to the most recent copy and what it entails. So be sure to check that out if you so choose. Okay, that's all I have to say for today. So any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will talk to you later.